Ladies and gents, how you doing? It's all been a bit serious of late, hasn't it? And I think I can remedy this by revisiting a topic I haven't touched for a while, which is ripping the piss out of the staggeringly entitled, insufferably smug, brain-dead Ginger Prince and his sloshing jizz bucket wife. Alright, I've left them alone for a while, so let's have another pop. On the BBC, Prince Harry's downgraded security was unjustified, court hears, by Amy Walker, Gemma Cruz, Tom Simmons. Jesus, is it because they're all sharing a brain cell that all the BBC reporters have to go mob-hand into every story these days? Do you remember when one reporter could cover a story, write it, proof it and edit it themselves? Why do they need to go mob-handed all the time these days? Anyway, before I get into the story, let's just make two things clear. I don't want to, ride roughshod over anybody's feelings. Maybe there's some monarchists watching, so I'll lay this out before we get started, right? One, I think Prince Harry has the neck of 10,000 giraffes, and every day I pray we have another bout of flash flooding, and one of these days he washes past me in the gutter on the way to the sea because his palatial home just up the road in Montecito has been reduced to rubble by the gods themselves as punishment for his offences against my nation. And two, I dislike his wife even more than his uncle, and his uncle is a full-blown diddler. So, full disclosure, I'm not entirely on the fence here. Okay, Prince Harry's back in court because he claims his security being downgraded was totally unjustified and he definitely can't afford to pay for it himself. Despite the fact he lives in a house that's so expensive, if he sold it, he could buy, pretty much the entire town of Middlesbrough. He could buy Middlesbrough, the county it's in, and still have enough change left over to get pleasured by every lady of the night within 200 miles of the train station. And trust me, in Middlesbrough, that's a lot of prozzies. The Duke of Sussex was singled out for different, unjustified and inferior treatment in a decision to downgrade the level of security he receives in the UK. The Court of Appeal has heard unjustified and inferior. You spent your entire life living in a palace. You live in a $20 million house in Montecito. You've been fawned over since the day James Hewitt filled your spunk Bowser mother with his ginger baby gravy. You're the most spoiled man on earth, and all you do is cry about how you get bad treatment. I'll tell you what, go and do a 12-hour shift in the corn factory. See what you think of that treatment, you horrible, slimy little shit. Prince Harry's making his latest legal challenge after the High Court upheld the decision that he should not be provided with the same level of protection as working members of the royal family. Yeah, of course not. And ex-presidents don't get quite the same level as serving presidents, do they? You're not working for them anymore. It's like me complaining that Games Workshop don't give me my 50% employee discount anymore. I don't work for the company, so do one. You're entitled to nothing. Also, judging by the amount of blokes your missus has pulled off, she's got the arm strength to keep you safe from almost anyone. She could take out the LA Lakers in unarmed combat with forearms like that. His barrister, Shahid Fatima KC, told the court Prince Harry had been subject to a different and so-called bespoke process. The Duke's security is currently decided on a case-by-case basis, the same way as the country's other high-profile visitors. So what's the problem? The same way as the country's other high-profile visitors. There you go. Making intelligent-led decisions about your security protection. Easy. Prince Harry sat on Tuesday with a notepad and pen in the back of the court, next to his solicitor and behind his barristers. He did not give evidence in the hearing, which is scheduled to last 2 days. He has previously said that the safety of his family, with whom he moved to California in 2020, was at the heart of the case. The UK is central to the heritage of my children. That cannot happen if it's not possible to keep them safe. What do you mean? He told the High Court in December 2023, adding that he wanted them to feel at home here. That cannot happen if it's not possible to keep them safe. I know he's an imbecile, this lad. He really is as thick as dehydrated whale spunk. But the point remains, if your kids are born and raised in a foreign country, not just a foreign country, they're not in France and they can just nip over on a whim. Montecito to London is about 11 hours. Right. They're not popping across every other weekend. They will never feel at home there because that's not their home. They're born and raised and spend all the time in America, in a very distant part of America. Not on the East Coast, the West Coast. It's not their home and they'll never feel at home there. I don't really feel at home in the States, and I've been here a decade because I was born and raised and spent all my formative years in the UK. They will never feel at home, no matter how much of the taxpayers' money you throw at them, you self-trimming, spiteful little toad. Prince Harry claimed he had not been given the chance to make his own case or see risk assessments that may have been carried out. He also referenced security incidents that have happened since his security was downgraded. These include Al-Qaeda calling for the prince to be murdered in 2020 as a direct result of his own book, because he was trying to give it Billy Big Bollocks and writing a book about how Tommy Rockers he was, saying he's killed all these people, which is probably lies anyway, but he thought it sounded good at the time and now he's crying about it. And a dangerous car pursuit with the paparazzi in New York, so again, wasn't even in the UK, so what's he crying for? What a little worm, eh? That Al-Qaeda thing is a direct result of his own actions. It's like me dropping my drawers, putting my plums on my desk, bashing them flat with a pint glass, and then crying to the High Court about it. The damage to my future procreational activities is a direct result of the British taxpayer. No, it was you. It was all you. If you hadn't have wrote the book and you hadn't promoted the book, Al-Qaeda wouldn't have had a word to say about you. So shut it, fox piss. James Eady KC, representing the Home Office, said it was important to emphasise that security hadn't been fully revoked and instead it was being decided on the same basis as before, due to his change of status and his moving abroad. In written submissions, he said the Prince's appeal involves a continued failure to see the wood for the trees. Mr. Eady said Ravik had treated the claimant in a bespoke manner, claiming he is no longer a member of the cohort of individuals whose security position remains under regular review by Ravik. And in 2023, Prince Harry also lost a legal challenge in his bid to be allowed to make private payments for police protection. While most of the proceedings are set to be held in open court, confidential information about security arrangements and threat levels will be heard in private, and a written decision will be issued at a later date. So what that means is, it's supposed to be out in the open for everyone to see, but obviously, like most things in British courts these days, all of the real meat and potatoes happens behind closed doors, where nobody can see anything, and nobody knows what's really going on, and all the bent judges and the bent lawyers and the professional activists and the kiddie fiddlers and the cocaine-snorting House of Lords people, they can all get involved, and they can have a bit of a sex orgy and, do a shitload of drugs and coke and hookers, and then just do whatever they want, and probably cost you a few £1 million more. Brilliant. Love that. Fantastic story. A nice, neat introduction to the way the British legal system works. You can have that for now, all right? I hope you enjoyed it. If you think Prince Harry is a marvellous public servant and his wife is a wonderful ambassador for all things British, yeah, she's as English as fish and chips and Morris dancing, please let me know in the comments so I can send a security detail round from the local mental institution who will have you interred in a padded cell for the rest of your life, because frankly, you're a danger to the public and yourself. All right, thanks for tuning in, ladies and gentlemen. I'll see you all tomorrow. Toodle pip. Cheers.